Hey y'all, good morning. So our project for today is going to be these raised garden beds. We got 4 of them here. Lindsay bought them off of Amazon and has been asking me for a couple weeks now to get these things put together. And I've just been working on some other projects and things, but today I'm going to go ahead and get that done, get those things put together for us. So I'll leave a link in the description for the garden beds, and as we go I'll kind of give a review and see what we think about them, and then that way you guys will have a good idea of whether or not you want to get some. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here and we'll get these things put together. Alright, so let's get this thing opened up, see what it looks like. Alright, so these are configurable into different sizes, so they come in these little panels. I feel like these are going to be a little bit annoying to put together, but once they're together they should be pretty nice. So like I said, they come in several different panels, and you can make them wider or longer or however you want to configure them. There's a bunch of different ways. And then they also have rounded edges, so everything will be nice and clean. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out these nuts and bolts and things is what I'm assuming is here. We've got a rubber edge to go around the top to make sure that it's nice and soft. We've got magnetic plant tags, and then all our hardware. I'm going to go see what size bolts these are. Actually, it doesn't really matter because I can just use my screwdriver bit. So it comes with this little wrench here to tighten everything down. I hate handheld stuff, but I'm going to use this to hold the nut side, and I'll just use my drill to, they're Phillips head screws and flange nuts. So I'll just use this to hold the nut side, and I'll screw the other side with the drill. I think what I'm going to do is make it, I think you can do 4 feet by 8 feet, and I think that's the configuration that Lindsay was wanting. So that's what we'll go with. Move, Teddy. Move, pup. So if you notice, we have 2 different size panels here. And so I'm going to take a look at the instructions and see which way we need to orient these to make sure I get the size garden bed that I want. I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. So if you look on the Amazon listing for these garden beds, it'll show you all the different ways they can be put together. And I'll put a screenshot on the video so that you can see it. To do the 4 by 8 configuration, so we have 2 different size panels here. We have a 1.5 foot panel and a 2 foot panel. So to do 4 by 8, it shows that we need a 2 foot, a 1.5 foot, and then another 2 foot on each side, and then whatever's left over, I think it'll be 1.5 foot pieces on this short end. So I'm going to go ahead and get these set up and put together, and we'll get this side done. All right, so what I'm going to do is get all of these started and all the way around, get everything put together temporarily, and then, well, not temporarily, but get it all put together, and then I'll go through around the whole thing and tighten everything up. And so these come with two different kinds of nuts. So you've got, I'll show you, I don't know if you can see from all the way over there. So you've got a regular nut and a cap nut. And I'm going to put the cap nuts on the top bolts, and that way it'll be kind of protective if you were to run your hand down in there or something while you're planting. You don't want to run into the end of this bolt here, because that might hurt you. You might wind up cutting yourself or something. So I'm going to put the cap nuts at the top, and then we'll put the regular ones on all the others. Okay, so this whole thing is put together now. I just have to tighten everything up. One thing that I want to mention is the top two bolts are actually supposed to have those cap nuts on them. When I got to about here, I realized that I was running out of the regular nuts, and so I stopped putting the second one in just to see where we got to, and it turns out that I was right. So you need cap nuts on the top two, and then regular nuts on the bottom three. So these come with little, just threaded, two short little threaded rods, and so you'll screw that into one of the longer ones about halfway, and then screw a shorter one onto that. This is going to be dependent on the configuration. So if you have a longer bed that is narrower, then you'll do this a little differently. So just check the instructions, and it'll tell you exactly how you need to do it. All right, so those are nice and tight. And these are going to go on these center, on either side of these. Do the same thing on this one. Okay, so now that we have this one assembled, I'm going to go ahead and go around and tighten up all the screws. All right, y'all, so we got everything tightened down. The only thing that I have left to do before we can kind of put this into place is I'm going to put that, that rubber edge all around the top. Everything went together pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with it. It seems fairly sturdy. We'll see how it does once we get dirt in there. I'm glad it has these support bars because otherwise it definitely would bow out. But we'll see how it goes once we get it installed, or not installed, but once we get it put in place in the garden and get it filled up. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this rubber edge on here. It just it's just split right here. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty tight fit, so we'll see how easy this is to get on here. But we're just gonna take it, put it over the edge, and then run it all the way around. So I think I'm gonna start kind of put in the middle on one of these ends over here. So let me move the camera so you can see. I'm just gonna start right here and just take it, slide it straight down on there, and it goes on pretty easily. Once we get to these joints here though, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So you just want to make sure you get both of those joints in there, and that'll make sure that you don't have any sharp edges when you're actually out here planting and working with this stuff. You want to make sure everything's nice and covered. So we're going to go ahead and just get this all the way around. So they give you just a little bit more of this than what you actually need, so that you can make sure that it fits perfectly. So we're going to cut this right here. It's got a metal ridge in there, so we're probably going to need to cut this with snips. Perfect. All right, so here's our finished product. I think it looks really good. I really like that top edge protection. It's going to be really nice once we get everything out in the garden, start working on it. We don't have to worry about getting cut, don't have to worry about the kids getting on these edges, especially where these come together. That's a pretty sharp edge. So I really like that they add that edge protection. So first impressions, pretty good. We'll just have to see how it does once we get dirt in it. Obviously that's going to push out on it some. It's going to put a little pressure on it, so we'll see how well it holds its shape just with those two little rods in there to kind of keep it in place. If it doesn't work out real well, then what I'll do, I'm going to fill one of them up first. And if it starts to deform and stuff, then I'll probably go get some steel studs and just use those for bracing in a couple more spots. We'll just make sure we keep them low so that they'll be out of the planting area. But hopefully we won't need that, but if we do, that's an option. All right, y'all, check it out. We got them all assembled. So we've got the 3 here. I've got the one over by the garage already. These are the little magnetic labels. So once we get everything out in the garden and start planting stuff, you can write on those labels what plants you have in there, so you know exactly what's in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get these loaded up in the truck. Probably do 2 at a time, but we'll see how it goes. And so we'll get them loaded up and get them taken out to the garden and get them in place. Hopefully these will fit in here. I don't know if they'll squeeze in between the wheel wells or not. So they're supposed to be 4 feet wide, and I've got 50 something, like 52 inches between the wheel wells, so hopefully. Oh yeah, just barely. Perfect. There we go. So I'm going to try and stack 2 of them in here. That just got you. Probably gonna need your help with this one, Lindsay. Yeah, baby. What, baby? I'm backing up so I can put one more in here.
Backing up to the bed, garden bed, so I can put them in there.
What, baby?
Can I help too?
Yeah. Let's see. You gonna put your ice pack down? All right. Let's see. You'll probably have to help Mommy. Said you'll probably have to help Mommy.
I probably have to help Mommy.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need Mommy to hold it up on that end, and I'm gonna hold it up on this end. We're gonna set it on top of this one.
And then I'm gonna hold it up on this end.
Yeah, you're gonna help Mommy hold that end up. Because I'm gonna see this wood right here.
Wooden.
See, I got wood in here. Can you see it? So we'll set that one on top of here,
Okay.
so it doesn't fall.
Okay.
Alright, now you here? You do it 2 at a time?
Yeah. All right, so this is our garden. We've got this half over here kind of raked out. We cleaned up most of the weeds and stuff that were in here. There's still a little bit there, but once we get the garden beds in here, those raised beds, I'm gonna get them laid out where I want them, and then we're gonna put down some landscape paper to prevent weeds from penetrating up through there. So we're gonna go ahead and get these things unloaded, and we'll see you guys in a minute. All right, y'all, so here's what we have. We wound up doing 3 on that side, and then we're gonna just have this one here. We may play around with the layout a little bit, but this is kind of what we're starting with. And then we'll just kind of go from there and see how it works. I'm gonna level these out now that they're in place, but we'll work on that another day. All right, y'all, well, that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.